Every night, when we close our eyes and surrender to sleep, we enter a world that seems both foreign and familiar. In this world, logic dissolves. Linear time fades. People we've lost reappear. Places we've never been feel like home. And amid all this surreal imagery, something stirs. A message, a feeling, a truth we haven't yet faced. Carl Jung believed that dreams are not random. They are not meaningless leftovers of waking life or neurological noise. Instead, he saw them as messengers from the unconscious. Fragments of ourselves, long buried and unspoken, reaching out through symbols and stories. Just as ancient prophets interpreted signs in the stars or in the flight of birds, we are invited to read the language of our dreams, not with our intellect, but with our intuition. Jung wrote, "Dreams are the guiding words of the soul." And in a world obsessed with productivity and clarity, dreams offer ambiguity, mystery, and poetic insight, not to confuse us, but to heal us. We tend to dismiss dreams as meaningless because they don't fit into our waking logic. But that's precisely what makes them powerful. They emerge from a deeper realm, untouched by social conditioning, expectations, or the masks we wear. In the dream, we are no longer the persona we perform during the day. We are raw, symbolic, and whole. Sometimes we dream of running, falling, or flying, not because of random thoughts, but because something within us is reaching out, aching to be seen. A dream doesn't come to entertain you. It comes to reveal you. And more often than not, it arrives exactly when you need it, even if you don't yet understand why. Why don't dreams speak clearly? Why don't they simply tell us what we need to know? Because the unconscious mind does not use the language of facts. It speaks in symbols. The moon, the forest, a forgotten room, a wounded animal, a stranger's face. Each image carries layers of meaning. A dream of drowning might not be about water, but about feeling overwhelmed. A dream of flying could point to your desire for freedom, or your fear of falling. Jung observed that dreams are compensatory. They balance the one-sidedness of our waking selves. If you are overly rational, your dreams may burst with chaos and emotion. If you repress anger, it may return as a wild animal chasing you through a dark alley. The unconscious is not polite. It is honest. We often underestimate the intelligence of this symbolic language. But symbols are not vague. They are precise in their emotional truth. They bypass the mind and speak directly to the soul. A single image in a dream can capture what pages of explanation could never convey. This is why Jung believed that learning to understand our dreams is a kind of literacy, the ability to read the soul's own handwriting. In this way, a dream is not a puzzle to be solved, but a mirror to be faced. And like all mirrors, it can show us things we are not yet ready to see. Every dream tells a story, and every person dreams in the language of their own mythology. Jung believed that deep within each of us lies a personal myth, a unique constellation of symbols, memories, desires, and wounds that shapes how we see the world. Our dreams draw from this mythological reservoir. This is why the same symbol can mean different things to different people. A snake may be terrifying to one, healing to another, and sacred to a third. The key is to ask, what does this image mean to me? What emotion does it stir in my body? What memory does it awaken? The dream is not trying to confuse you. It is using the language it knows you understand beneath your conscious awareness. These personal symbols are formed by your life experiences, your cultural roots, even forgotten moments from early childhood. A house might represent safety to one person, but confinement to another. The meaning is never fixed. It lives in your emotional reaction. This is what makes dream work so deeply intimate. No one else can interpret your dreams for you better than you. Dream interpretation is not a universal science. It is an art of intimate listening. It is a dialogue with the part of yourself that speaks in riddles and feelings. This is why in our previous video, The Journey to Your True Self, Carl Jung's Guide to Individuation, we explored how the path to wholeness is not about becoming someone else, but about returning to the deepest truths already alive within you. Dreams are a lantern on that journey. Some dreams disturb us. They make us anxious, ashamed, or confused. We try to forget them when we wake. But these are often the most important dreams, because they are where we meet our shadow. The shadow, as Jung defined it, is the part of us we repress or reject. It holds our anger, jealousy, desire, and fear, but it also holds our creativity, intuition, and vitality. And in dreams, the shadow often appears in symbolic form, as a threatening figure, a dark room, a person we dislike. Rather than run from these images, Jung suggested we engage with them. Ask, what part of myself does this represent? Why does it frighten me? These dreams may feel like nightmares, but they are really invitations to reclaim the pieces of ourselves we've lost. The more we avoid the shadow, the more power it gains over our waking life. Unacknowledged, it seeps into our relationships, our fears, our self-sabotage. But when we face it in the dream, we begin a sacred dialogue with the parts of us that have lived too long in exile. And sometimes, what first appears as a monster reveals itself as a wounded child. By meeting the shadow in dreams, we can begin the work of integration, the process of becoming whole. This was the focus of our video Face Your Shadow, Carl Jung's secret to becoming whole, where we explored how embracing our darkness can awaken our deepest light. The dreams that frighten us are often the ones trying hardest to wake us. Jung's concept of archetypes helps explain why certain dream themes recur across cultures and time. The wise old man, the great mother, the hero, the trickster, the child. These figures live in the collective unconscious, a shared psychic reservoir inherited from all of humanity. When they appear in dreams, they often carry a numinous quality, a sense of timeless truth. A dream of a wise woman guiding you through a storm may be more than a personal image. It may be an archetype calling you to listen, to trust, to change. These dream figures feel larger than life, as if they're not just part of your mind, but messengers from a deeper realm. Their presence is often charged with energy, meaning, and emotion. They may speak in riddles or remain silent, but their impact lingers. Jung saw these moments as opportunities to connect with something eternal, the universal patterns of human experience. And though the archetypes are ancient, the way they appear in your dreams is always personal, always shaped by your current life situation. Recognizing archetypes in your dreams can feel like meeting something ancient within you. And this experience often leaves us humbled, not because we've discovered something new, but because we've remembered something eternal. Sometimes, what we dream at night echoes what we experience during the day, but in strange and symbolic ways. You dream of a red bird, and the next morning, one lands outside your window. You dream of losing something, and that week, a relationship ends. Jung called this phenomenon synchronicity, meaningful coincidence without apparent cause. When dream and reality align, the unconscious seems to be whispering, "Pay attention, this matters." These moments can feel eerie or even magical, as if the boundary between inner and outer worlds is thinner than we think. Dreams don't just reflect what's going on in your psyche, they sometimes anticipate or mirror events yet to unfold. You may have a dream that seems nonsensical, only to realize later that it contained symbols connected to a real-life situation you hadn't yet processed consciously. Jung believed that the psyche is not separate from the world, but in constant dialogue with it. Through dreams, the unconscious may be responding to your life, or even trying to guide it in unseen ways. It's less about prediction and more about connection, the synchronicity between your inner truth and the outer events that echo it. In our video Synchronicity, Carl Jung's hidden things that guide your life, we explored how these moments are not accidents. They are alignments, bridges between the inner and outer world. Dreams, then, are not just reflections, but guides. They prepare us, warn us, invite us to listen more deeply to the rhythms of life. To honor a dream is to honor the part of life that cannot be measured. One of the most powerful ways to approach dream analysis is to see every character in the dream as a part of you. The angry man, the scared child, the distant lover, the helpful stranger. Each may represent a facet of your psyche. The child may be your vulnerability, the stranger your intuition, the lover your longing for wholeness. Rather than asking, "Who is this person?" ask, "What does this person reflect in me?" This approach turns the dream from a passive experience into an active revelation. You are not just watching a movie, you are meeting yourself in costume. And sometimes the characters we dislike most are the ones we most need to integrate. That bossy figure chasing you? It might be your own repressed power trying to get your attention. The lost child? A forgotten version of you who still longs to be held. Each character holds a voice that has been pushed out of your waking identity. A voice that now returns through metaphor. When you begin to relate to them, rather than resist them, your dreams become less chaotic and more coherent. It's as if the different parts of you finally feel heard. This inner listening leads not just to insight, but to healing. As Jung wrote, the dream is a theater in which the dreamer is himself the scene, the player, the prompter, the producer, the author, and the critic. In this theater, nothing is random. Everything has meaning, if you're willing to see it. But how can we begin to understand our dreams if we can't even remember them? Jung emphasized the importance of creating a relationship with the unconscious, and that begins with attention. Keep a dream journal beside your bed. When you wake, write down whatever fragments you recall, even if they seem trivial. Over time, your ability to remember dreams will strengthen. The unconscious responds to interest. When you care, it speaks more clearly. Think of it like tending a garden. The more you water it with presence, the more it grows in richness and color. Even just writing a single word or feeling can plant a seed that reveals meaning later. You might notice certain symbols reappear across nights, or that some dreams feel strangely familiar, like chapters in a longer, unfolding story. Patterns begin to emerge when we look back over time. This process of remembering is not just for interpretation. It is itself an act of reverence. You are telling your unconscious, "I'm listening." Treat your dreams like sacred texts. Reread them, reflect, draw the symbols, track patterns. The more you engage, the more the symbols begin to reveal their logic. Not the logic of waking life, but the inner logic of the soul. Dream work is not about instant answers. It's about building trust with the part of yourself that never lies, even if it never speaks plainly. Many people turn to therapy when they feel lost, and Jung believed that working with dreams is one of the most direct ways to begin healing. Why? Because dreams show us where we are stuck, where we are hurting, what we are longing for. A dream can reveal an old trauma resurfacing. It can bring clarity to a relationship. It can reveal the part of you you've abandoned, the inner child who still waits to be seen. In our video, Why You Still Hurt, Jung's answer lies in your childhood. We explored how reconnecting with this vulnerable part can restore a sense of joy and authenticity. Often, it is the dreams that lead us back to this child. Dreams can serve as emotional barometers, reflecting subtle shifts in our psyche long before we notice them consciously. Sometimes a recurring dream signals a wound that hasn't healed, or a sudden, powerful dream arrives like a thunderclap, pushing you toward a truth you've avoided for years. These moments are not interruptions, they are interventions. The psyche does not give up on you. It keeps sending signals night after night until you are ready to listen. And when you do, you might find that healing doesn't come from understanding alone. It comes from embracing the part of you that has always been speaking through the dream. Healing begins when we stop ignoring the voice within. Dreams are that voice, disguised as poetry, memory, and metaphor. In the end, Jungian dream work is not just about interpretation. It is about transformation. To work with dreams is to begin a conversation with the soul, one that is not always comfortable, but always honest. You may not understand every dream. Some may take years to unfold, but each one carries a thread. And if you follow these threads, with curiosity and compassion, you may find they lead to the parts of yourself you've long forgotten, or never dared to meet. Most people search for clarity in the outside world, through books, mentors, or achievements. But the dream offers a different kind of knowing, Not linear, not logical, but deeply felt. It asks you to sit with the unknown, to trust symbols more than conclusions. This trust is the beginning of inner freedom. When you listen without trying to control, the unconscious reveals what the ego cannot see. Over time, dreams become more than images. They become companions on your journey. Messengers of truth, echoes of your own becoming. So tonight, when sleep comes, don't dismiss what you see. Pay attention. The unconscious does not waste its breath. It only speaks when something must be heard. If this video stirred something in you, feel free to revisit our other reflections on synchronicity, the power of the shadow, or the inner child, each one a thread leading deeper into the self. And if you found meaning here, please like, share, and subscribe to The Art of Being. Your presence here matters.